Hi, everyone. Today we're going to talk about what is chemistry in a relationship and the 8 signs of chemistry. While most relationships with romantic chemistry usually happen quickly in the early stages of a relationship, some relationships can develop into chemistry as both partners get to know each other. So, what is this thing we call chemistry? Using the spelling of the word chemistry, the following are 8 signs of chemistry that exist between two romantic partners. Okay, so we're going to designate the 8 signs by the spelling of the word chemistry, Chemistry. C for compatibility. Conversations flow naturally, having things in common, on the same page, naturally understanding you get each other. Okay, so for those of you who have experienced chemistry, you know what I'm talking about, right? When you meet someone, there's certain people that we meet in our lives that we just click. We just automatically click. There's this natural compatibility. We just seem to understand what we are each thinking and saying as we get to know each other. Okay. H for humor, sharing the same humor, laughing at the same things. Okay, and usually when you have chemistry with somebody, there's the factor of humor involved. Not only do you both feel like you're compatible, but you also laugh at the same things, right? If you tell a joke, your partner laughs. They genuinely find you funny, and you both share the same kind of humor. So, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to people that you don't have the same humor with. I've also experienced that, and um, it's just awkward, right? It's kind of awkward when you meet people that you don't share the same humor with. So that's definitely a factor. It's humor. E for eye contact, staring in each other's eyes continuously. Okay. Um, I know we've also been in relationships where that didn't happen, where you meet someone and either you're shy or there's a kind of awkwardness where you just don't feel comfortable looking at each other's, looking into each other's eyes. But when you have chemistry with somebody, there's just this natural attraction, and you just can't help but to keep staring at each other. Okay. M for mental connection. Two people understand each other's needs, emotionally connected, thinking the same thoughts. That's happened to me before. I dated a guy where we definitely had a really special kind of mental connection. Sometimes we would think the same thoughts at the same time, and we would even say the same things at the same time, or we'd call each other at the exact minute. So because we would call each other, and then we couldn't get through because we're calling each other. And I recall this one relationship. It happened quite often when we both try to call each other at the exact moment we were thinking about each other, and we could not get through. So that's a unique kind of situation that when you do have chemistry with somebody, there's a mental connection where you both are thinking the same thoughts. And there's just this emotional kind of connection that you have. Okay, I for intellectual chemistry, having stimulating conversations, intrigued by your partner's viewpoints. Okay, so um that's part of it too. When the things that the information you both exchange, you both find fascinating. You both are interested in each other, right? We've been on dates where we may not be interested in what our partner's talking about, or what they're talking about we don't understand if it's technical, right? But in this kind of a relationship, when you meet someone when there's chemistry, you just naturally enjoy their company, with what the conversations you have is flowing, and you both are on the same page, and you just are intrigued, as I said, intrigued by each other's viewpoints. Okay, and then the letter S for spark, sexual attraction, mutual physical affection towards each other, natural excitement. And I think that's probably, if I would say out of all these signs, I think S is the main, I would say is the primary sign when there's chemistry. There's just this spark. There's this some people say it's a sexual attraction, but there's just this attraction. And it's mutual. And you both are wanting to be affectionate towards each other. It just comes naturally. And there's just natural excitement. It's that person that when you look across the room, you just smile, right? You just smile at each other. Or when you first meet, you just can't help but just keep smiling at each other. There's just this natural, attraction, and that's all. I can't explain it. This is something chemistry is hard to define. But I would say those of you who have experienced it, and I have, I can say that yeah, it's definitely there's a spark, and you can't explain it because it's not something you actually have with everybody that you meet. Um, so that's important. And then T for time flies when you're having fun. There never seems to be enough time when enjoying each other's presence. Feeling of never running out of things to talk about. And you guys have heard of the old saying, time flies when you're having fun, right? Well, and when you have a relationship with someone when where there's chemistry, this definitely applies. It just time just flies. Before you know it, hours have gone by. This is the kind of date that when you first meet someone, you end up closing the restaurant, right? You meet for dinner, and then let's say you have dinner at 7 o'clock, and then you end up talking till closing, right? Where you see the people in the restaurant cleaning up and vacuuming, you're like, "Uh-oh, I think we better get out of here." So, that's usually a good sign, because that means that, there's not only there's chemistry, but you're having fun. The conversation is so, interesting, and and you both just have so much to say, and it just time just goes, and you just can't believe that all this time has gone by, and here you are, you've talked for 3 hours and it doesn't even feel like it, right? And when there's chemistry, it's just like that because you are having fun, you are enjoying each other, so time just flies. R for reciprocal romantic feelings where both partners have mutual feelings for each other and is not one-way relationship. Both partners are invested emotionally in their relationship. Okay, so definitely. I've always said, in a relationship, the feelings have to be mutual. Okay, because if both partners are not mutually um, invested in the relationship, then one of the partners are always going to be wondering, where do they stand? If they're going to wonder if their partner what their partner feels about them. So in a healthy relationship, it's got to be mutual effort, mutual feelings, and reciprocal. Okay, so um, that's very important because you cannot have a one way relationship. I know people sometimes ask me, well, how can I make my partner like me? How can I make my partner fall in love with me? How much time do you think it will take for my partner to fall in love with me? Folks, this is something that you really can't quantify. Just like you can't quantify passion or spark or chemistry. It's either there or it's not. But I will say, as I said earlier in this conversation, there are situations where people can grow into chemistry in time. Okay. I don't know the percentages of how often that happens, but it is definitely possible where two people may not start out having this spark, but as they get to know each other, they really begin to like each other, and they admire each other, and they respect each other, and at some point they do fall in love, and it becomes then at that point it could turn into chemistry and a spark. So where the attraction, there's still an attraction, but it may not be an initial attraction. Um, but later on, it certainly can become a mutual attraction. Okay, and why you can be you, meaning you can be your authentic self, feeling comfortable around each other and not being afraid to express yourself of your true emotions and thoughts. So you can be you is why. Um, and that's important because part of the natural conversation, part of feeling comfortable with somebody, and part of having fun is be able to relax, to let loose, to be yourself. And especially in the initial stages, okay? Usually, it does seem like when there's chemistry in the beginning of the dating stage, that there does seem to be a lot uh, of I want to say just vulnerability where both partners have high hopes, they're excited, they they are they can be themselves, and it just feels natural in the beginning, especially when there's chemistry. Okay, there's just all these factors all these signs that are happening. It just lends itself to a situation where you feel like you can be yourself because you actually feel that you've fallen in love and you met the love of your life, and someone that you think you're gonna spend the rest of your life with, okay? While romantic chemistry is important in the initial stages of a dating relationship, we need to realize it's just one factor of a healthy relationship. The other factors show up in the rest of the stages of a dating relationship that will determine the longevity and success of a relationship. Factors such as shared vision and common goals for the future, shared values, acceptance of each other's flaws, imperfections, and personality quirks, being able to effectively communicate and resolve conflict in a healthy manner. And in my opinion, the key factor above all factors of a successful relationship is navigating through conflict resolution. So, depending on how conflicts get resolved, they will ultimately either further add to the initial existing chemistry or take away from the chemistry. Okay, so let me just stop right here. And I think this is worth mentioning. It's very important. I've done a couple of videos on this, previous videos. So if you haven't seen it, folks, I'd recommend you go back and look at it. The one video in particular is finding the right partner. And that video talks about how to find the right partner and the value of friendship in a relationship. And then the other video is the four dating stages of a relationship, or the four stages of a dating relationship. And that's important too. I think a lot of us we rush into a relationship too quick, and even though the chemistry feels great in the beginning of the relationship, we don't allow ourselves enough time for the relationship to actually morph into real love, and that takes time. Okay, the first few months, it's always magical. It's always wonderful. Everybody's wonderful. We're in love. We think we met the right one, and the problem is, I caution all of us, okay, me included, because we've all been through this. No matter how strong the chemistry is, realize it's just a natural uh, result of meeting someone new. The newness of the relationship adds to the excitement. Okay, it's a novelty, and all this factors into just in the beginning. It's natural to feel like you're in love. Okay, but we have to keep in the back of our minds the four stages of relationship. The first stage is the romantic stage. So I encourage you guys to all go back and look at that video of my video, Four Stages of Relationship. We need to be patient and allow the relationship to evolve to the second, third, and fourth stage. It's very important. Many of us make that mistake. We rush into marriage, we rush into physical intimacy too soon, okay? And then we skip the second, third, and fourth stages. And then we don't actually get to those stages till we get married. And then after we get married, then we get to the second, third, and fourth stage where we actually learn about each other and find out each other's flaws and imperfections. And so it's just a good idea. It's easier. It's better to learn about each other and then evaluate whether the compatibility is there while you're dating. And then when you go through the disagreements and you discover the differences that's between you two, that's the time to be able to iron things out and discuss things and see whether you can resolve conflict. The dating stages is very, very important. Okay, I can't stress that enough. And then if you can go through those in a successful manner, then you'll be ready to finally make a commitment either for long term or to get married. And really, the rest of the stages can be summed up into one word, and the word is friendship. And that's why you've heard me say in many of my previous videos to focus on the friendship first. Friendship will either fuel chemistry or ruin it. And this is why I believe maintaining friendship is so important to building a long-term, healthy, and successful relationship. Okay, so what we're talking about really, when I talk about the second, third, and fourth stages, I'm talking about friendship. Okay, friendship, in my opinion, is the foundation to a relationship. Trust is the foundation to friendship. Okay, and that's part of building the friendship is if you can build the trust. Okay, and then the friendship is ultimately the foundation of a relationship. If you think back, if you think about relationships that failed, or even your own relationships, most relationships fail. It's not because of the sex, right? I've never heard anyone say, "Well, we had bad sex, and that's why I'm divorcing so and so, or I'm leaving, or I'm ending the relationship because of bad sex." Not really. Most of the time, it's the failure. Either there wasn't friendship to begin with, because the two didn't take the time in the dating stages to develop the friendship, or whatever relationship or friendship or whatever weak friendship they had in the beginning of their marriage, it deteriorated. Okay. And like I said, I think it's because of not being able to resolve conflict in a proper manner, in a healthy manner. And those are the things that you learn about and you work through while you're in the second, third, and fourth stages of dating. So it's that's why friendship is very important. So all of you need to keep in mind that the purpose of dating is to determine whether that person can go the long haul. Okay, it's while the initial chemistry is wonderful, it's a great feeling, uh, but that's just the initial part of it. We have to realize that's all natural. It's a natural part of meeting somebody new. Okay, and then having that chemistry. But we have to keep in back of our minds that there's more to this relationship that needs to develop into a healthy friendship, and then finally a commitment. Okay. So for those of you who actually, let me finish. In summary, while chemistry serves as the catalyst for a romantic interest in the early stages in a dating relationship, it's friendship that is the foundation of a relationship and what sustains a relationship for the long run. And surprisingly, for some partners who may not have had chemistry, were able to build chemistry over time as they deepened and strengthened their relationship. So let me just say this again. In summary, while chemistry serves as the catalyst for a romantic interest in the early stages of a dating relationship, it's friendship that is the foundation of a relationship and what sustains a relationship for the long run. And surprisingly, for some partners who may have not had chemistry initially, were able to build chemistry over time as they deepened and strengthened their friendship. So for those of you who are in a dating relationship with someone who you have chemistry with, I encourage you to focus on the friendship first. And for those of you who are married or in a long-term relationship, I encourage you to continually maintain your friendship to keep the spark alive. If you haven't seen my previous video, 5 ways to keep the 5 way to keep the romance spark alive in a relationship, please check it out because it's never too late to rebuild or strengthen your friendship while keeping the spark alive. Okay, that's another video I did a while back. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. If you're in a long term relationship or you're married and you feel the spark is gone, and you feel like you've fallen out of love, because I hear that a lot. What do I do? I don't love my partner anymore. I don't love my spouse anymore. I fall out of love with my partner. Should I still stay in the relationship? My answer will always be absolutely. You need to stay in the relationship. Um, because it's normal to fall out of love. You cannot maintain the chemistry at that high level of emotions forever. The relationship will eventually morph into real love. Not saying that the spark is gone completely, but it does change. And so we need to realize that that's what real love is. The friendship that develops is going to be much stronger, and that's what's gonna keep the relationship to last forever, in a successful long-term relationship. So if you haven't seen that video, please check it out. 5 ways to keep the romance spark alive in a relationship. Um, Finally, I just want to say that the best relationship is when both partners excuse me, let me say this again. Finally, I just want to say the best relationship is when both partners choose to put forth the effort and to build and maintain their friendship because it's friendship that will keep chemistry alive and warm your hearts forever. Okay? Um so again, it's all a mutual effort. It's got to be mutual effort, mutual feelings, and both partners have to be willing to put their best foot forward and put forth the effort to maintain and build the friendship. Okay. um so that was a short video, but before I finish off here, I would like to remind you guys again, I did write a book, Kissing Frogs No More: The Secret of Finding Prince Charming. It's not gender specific, so for you men who are looking for your princess, so to speak, please check this out. It's a short read. I wrote this when I was single 9 years ago, and um, when I was in the I was dating online just like all of you are, and a lot of things I've learned while I was dating. And if for those of you who need help, if you're new to dating, especially, and you need help to understand how to date, how to find the right person, the qualities to look for, please check this out. Okay, it's a very short read, but I think you will enjoy it, and you will hopefully get a lot of information out of it and find it helpful. Okay, okay, folks. If you have any questions, if you resonate with what I'm saying, please put some comments in below. If you have any questions, I will answer them. If you like this video, please click like and click share. And please subscribe to my channel so you can be notified of all my upcoming videos. And I thank you all for taking the time to watch, and I will see you again soon. Bye.